From what I understand, Megalopolis is about a world where Rome never fell. Was talking about the marketing aspect of this trailer. What do you think about them opening with the worst reviews of his previous movies?
And they started moving.
Which time travel stuff is always really interesting too. That shot over the edge looked really cool. I'm excited to see what the man, Francis Ford Coppola himself, has to bring, because it's been a while since his most recent movie.
Welcome to Backseat Directing,
where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew
and Aaron.
We put out new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And today we're reacting to the new trailer of Megalopolis.
3, 2, 1, action.
Got a new trailer for you, Andrew.
All right, this one came out like 6 hours ago.
I have no idea what this is about.
I know a little bit about it. I kind of want to talk more about it after the fact.
Yeah.
Well, I'll like kind of go into it, unprepared on your end.
Yeah, I dig that. So that's the best way to watch trailers.
Yeah, going blind.
Exactly.
Jeez.
All right. Before we start, though, I want to say to the audience, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. And check out our Discord as well. The link is down below. It's been very active these last few weeks, and it's been a lot of fun. We're doing different movie debates and show topics. We were talking about The Acolyte getting canceled and how some people like it, some people don't. And there was a lot of tension there, and it was all fun.
I'm some people.
Yeah.
I'm the only people who like it by myself.
I didn't want to call you out directly like that.
Also, yes, Discord. That's the word.
Yes, Discord, not Patreon. But yeah, thanks so much for joining, and you can check out that link down below. Let's go ahead and get into this trailer.
Also, make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Okay, theaters, September 27.
Boom.
I love Lawrence Fishburne. He's Morpheus from The Matrix, so obviously he has my heart.
It's got a pretty stacked cast for this movie.
Insanely stacked cast.
Yeah.
Was that Shia LaBeouf in there too?
It was.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza.
That's like the third or fourth person on the list.
It's like fourth build. Aubrey Plaza's in there. She looked really cool in that kind of gold-plated outfit she was wearing. We have Aubrey Plaza with blonde hair now. I don't know. What are your first thoughts on Megalopolis?
It seems kind of trippy. The sets look really cool.
Oh yeah, the sets look awesome. It looks very reminiscent to me of kind of Yorgos Lanthimos' recent work, like Poor Things, I guess I would say. Really kind of very stylistic, big, colorful sets. It reminded me a little bit of La La Land too, on that scene with the beams, like the kind of romanticism of it all, the fantasy aspect. But from what I understand, Megalopolis is about a world where Rome never fell. So there's this concept in history of civilizations rising and falling, and Rome obviously was at its peak at one point, and its empire stretched across the world. So the concept of this is in a future where Rome never fell, and I believe its empire just stretches across the world. So like I think it takes place in a version of New York, because we can see the Statue of Liberty in the trailer briefly, and just the Roman Empire, has its hold on the earth. So we see like what I presume is televised events, sportsmanship, kind of version of, I don't know if you'd call it jousting, but like a gladiatorial arena. Like we see them racing on those chariots with horses, kind of reminiscent of ancient Rome combined with futuristic style. It's like ancient Rome in the future. And then there's the added element, apparently Adam Driver, the main character, has the ability to control time with some kind of tool. We see him holding like a glowing stick in the trailer that he's using to reverse time.
Yeah, he had all the cars at the bottom frozen and then
go.
And they started moving.
Which time travel stuff is always really interesting too. That shot over the edge looked really cool.
Yeah.
Inspires a lot of, kind of anxiety at the edge of a tall building. But I think that, Nolan plays with time really well. Hopefully Coppola can do it in a way that, really inspires audiences and creatives alike. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. The trailer tells us very little, just by being over 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I still feel like I don't know too much about what I'd be watching.
Yeah. I mean, even the idea of Rome and this kind of general world that they built, I feel like is not super present in that trailer.
Right. Yeah, I didn't overly pick up on that until you started saying it, and then I started like seeing all the references to that happening. And then there's some sort of mystical element involved because he's controlling time, like you said.
Something Schatz said, and it could be either sci-fi or something more magical, mystical. I'm curious to see. I
Mhm.
feel like they're going to lean sci-fi. Something Schatz said in our Discord was talking about the marketing aspect of this trailer. What do you think about them opening with the worst reviews of his previous movies? Because obviously, Godfather,
Never
Apocalypse
heard of
Now, podcast license revoked. But obviously, Godfather, Apocalypse Now, and Dracula are revered movies. But it shows how some critics reacted to them when they first came out. People calling them too artsy, people complaining about the visuals, style over substance kind of reviews. And then, years later, some of the most revered movies in cinema history. So Francis Ford
Yeah.
Coppola is a really respected director, but maybe underappreciated in those times.
Mhm.
And that was kind of like their marketing approach, is like, come see the next movie that like is ahead of its time. Like if you like this movie, you're forward thinking, like Francis Ford Coppola. If you don't like this movie, you're back in the sticks with all the people who didn't understand Godfather. I feel like that's the approach.
Right. It's kind of like maybe when people first watched this, or when the critics first watched it, like it kind of built over time, you know. And they're saying, hey, you want to get in on this movie now. uh at first it kind of threw me off a little bit, honestly, because I didn't get the relation to this movie until it was, oh, it's not really related to this movie at all. Because at first I thought it was like kind of talking, because I knew nothing about this going into the trailer. First, I thought it was almost going to be like a biopic or something, where they were talking about his films and stuff. But that's definitely not the case at all.
Yeah, that's what it almost made it seem like, because the very opening of the trailer with Adam Driver is like, says something about like the director, like come
Yeah,
see the story of the director,
right.
and it feels like it's almost going to be a biopic. I mean, I knew it wasn't going in, so but I can
That
see why, I
helps.
can
Yeah,
definitely see why you would think that
yeah.
from what they put on screen. One of the things that people talk about when they talk about Francis Ford Coppola that I want to bring up to you really quickly in this episode, because it just goes to his esteem and relating to this trailer and our thoughts of whether the movie might be good or not, is that people say he has the best 4-movie run of any director in history. Now, we know this isn't true, you and me, because we know of a little something called Christopher Nolan and his endless production of badass hits. But the run that people describe, the 4-movie run, is The Godfather in 1972, The Conversation in 1974, The Godfather Part 2 in 1974 also, and then Apocalypse Now in 1979, which, to be fair, is pretty crazy.
Yeah. It very hard to do.
It's iconic. I mean, to make 4 movies that are that iconic in cinema history that people reference and are kind of household name
It's
movies.
very hard to make a good movie. And it's even harder to string 4 of them back to back that have a impact on film and cinema for decades. For decades. That is quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of those movies have a 9.0 or above on
Yeah.
IMDb, which is really hard to achieve. Godfather's a
It's an
9.2.
interesting callback that, what, 40 years later, you're starting off your trailer of your next movie of all the bad reviews of your movies.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you have been that salty, like, I don't know, 30 years ago? Like, it's still bothering you now?
I mean, we don't know how involved he is with the trailer and marketing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, like David Fincher, cuts his own trailers. He's very
Right.
involved. I don't know how involved Francis Ford Coppola is. Did you know that Nicolas Cage is like his nephew or something like that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, his name was originally Nick Coppola. He changed his last name to go into show business and like build his rep up as an actor under his own name.
Interesting. A lot of actors and actresses change their name.
Yeah, but a lot of them change it to make it more advantageous to the screen. I mean, he changed it to make it.
Well, I think a
to
lot of
separate
them
himself.
change it because of the like unions or whatever that they're in, because you can only have one person with that name.
I think Michael B. Jordan is one of those. He had to put the B
Yep.
in his name.
Yep. Who's the other one? The actress. She slipped my mind. She's in La La Land. She
Emma Stone.
yeah. Her name's Emily. She doesn't.
Oh yeah, she doesn't like going by Emma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she prefers Emily, but I guess there was already another entry as Emily Stone, so she had to change.
Imagine being
Change
the
it.
other Emily
She's
Stone.
like,
I will sell you Emily
I am
Stone.
superior.
I give you Emily Stone. You give me $1 million.
It's like the Moeller twins, knowing which one was the original.
Mahler twins.
Yeah, Moeller twins. Thanks.
That's so funny though. That I think that the Nick Cage story is unique though, because I feel like people would normally, and also Arnold Schwarzenegger's story too. I mean, refusing to change his name, doing the opposite when
Yeah.
they wanted him to change his name. I think it's pretty gutsy on both of their end to do that, because being connected to Francis Ford Coppola can obviously open a lot of doors for you.
Right.
I mean, Francis Ford Coppola's daughter. Nothing. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with her not changing her name. I don't think it like built her career, because she's a very talented director. But Sophia Coppola, she has built a huge career for herself as well.
Definitely doesn't hurt.
It's a family full of talented individuals.
I mean, the showbiz is a lot about who you know.
Yeah.
So the more people you know, the easier it is for you to get your foot in the door.
I think using those tools is smart, honestly. I mean, if and not to say that it's going to necessarily help you always, which it may, but it also can help movies get made. If they're like, oh, I can put Coppola on the billing for this movie I'm going to make, maybe it's a little bit easier to get producers for that movie.
Absolutely.
You know, because Francis Ford Coppola is such a big name in cinema history.
Yeah, it's a good point, and it definitely happens for sure.
I'm excited to see what the man Francis Ford Coppola himself has to bring, because it's been a while since his most recent movie. I want to check here and see. 2015, there's something called Distant Vision, but I don't think that's a feature.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
The cover doesn't look like a feature. This is a short. This movie Twixt from 2011 might be his most recent. But these aren't, I feel like I would know the name of them if they were features. What's the last notable feature that he was involved in? Because directors always have this thing in there. The Rainmaker, 1997. That's the last one that I recognize. And then there's other things that look like documentaries, like Supernova in 2000, Youth Without Youth from 2007, Tetro from 2009, Twix from 2011. But directors are always working on stuff, so there'll be like a commercial in their IMDb history, or a music video, or a short film.
Right. I haven't heard of any of those last few that you mentioned there.
Yeah, The Rainmaker is more famous. His career in the 90s seemed where he was a little bit more busy. I think he's been working on Megalopolis for a while, though, from what I understand. I think it's been in the writing stages for a long time, and then in pre-production for a little while. I think Adam Driver could be a good fit for this role. It's I think he kind of got an unfair treatment with 65, where he was in this movie that was like supposed to be an action blockbuster, and it failed miserably. I don't think he should just get that one chance, because there's so much more that rides on a movie than one actor's performance. And I haven't seen it, but I haven't heard anything about his performance being bad. I just know people didn't like the movie.
Yeah,
and he has
stopped watching it halfway through.
He's been a part of a lot of big ensembles. Obviously, I mean, he's great in Black Klansman.
What's the
he's
one
in
that he's
Star
in
Wars.
with Scarlett Johansson?
Oh, Marriage Story. That's a lead, but it's still like I feel like it's a dual lead. So like a movie like Megalopolis, he seems more like he's the main
front man.
But there is a whole ensemble cast behind him.
Yeah.
So like
a stacked cast.
Yeah. I think this will be more of like he's the one main character, and Marriage Story is like they're both the main character. So maybe more of an opportunity for him to like set himself apart. Because I mean, when you look back in like the 90s and 2000s, there were so many roles like that. I mean, Matt Damon has 50 of them, you know, where like you are the lead. Like every other character is
we're selling this movie. We're selling you as this movie.
Exactly. Yeah. In Born Identity, I mean, his love interest, like she doesn't even show up until, you know, almost the second act of the movie, really. So stuff like that, I just feel like that's a different arena for you to step into as an actor, where the studio is willing to put the movie on your back. Like you said, billing the movie as this is a Matt Damon movie, this is a Brad Pitt movie.
Right.
You know?
Even they, though, have a lot of movies where they're co-stars, too.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Mr. and Mrs. Smith and
it's
stuff
definitely
like that.
a lot different to have the weight of the movie on, like, one actor or actress's shoulders.
You know who's a great example is Will Smith. Will Smith is like the movie's
that guy was
carrying for so long. And then I Am Legend, I can't think of much of a better example of like a movie that rides on one person's shoulders in terms of an actor, you know, obviously. But like I Am Legend is a lot of times just him. There's not even background characters like sitting in a coffee shop. It's just him and the dog. So that's
such a good movie. I want to watch that again.
That's a leading man for sure. So I hope that Adam Driver definitely is very talented, and I think Hollywood recognizes that.
Mhm.
But I think when it comes to Hollywood, like things like this are looked at as your shot for like
Yeah.
the solo leading man. So
Yeah.
we'll see how the
He
movie
hasn't had that
performs.
like breakout role. A lot of people like him in Star Wars, but the movies maybe weren't as good as his performance per se. And I think that kind of brings down the level of his performance.
I just don't really like the character of Kylo Ren, and I don't think
Yeah.
that has anything to do with Adam Driver's performance.
Right.
He seems like a cool guy in real life too. I mean, he's a veteran,
Mhm.
and when he speaks, he seems very, humble and
Yeah.
and like he seems like a good person. Hopefully that then doesn't.
Doesn't
Yeah. Come on, Hollywood, don't do it to me
Whenever we
again.
fall in love with an actor,
Dude, they will never take down my glorious king, Henry Cavill. He cannot be stopped. He is a good man. He's a good heart.
he just had a movie cross $1 billion. His first time.
A movie across $1 billion.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on a Henry Cavill movie? Henry Cavill movie from this year?
Yeah, it just came out not that long ago, a few weeks ago. We did a movie review on it.
It's got to be something on my team, right?
We had me, Zach, you, Denver.
Oh, come on. Come on. Cameo appearance.
Still his highest performing movie.
It is on my team. It is on my team. Let's go.
All right, I think this kind of wraps up this episode here. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know down in the comments below what you think of this movie trailer, what you think of the opening credits for the trailer, and what's your excitement level for this movie. We post new episodes every Monday and Thursday, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're posting out extra content too, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. We got a challenge video coming out here soon where we created a short film and we go through the process of how we made it. And I think that was really cool. Andrew, tell the people where we're at.
We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads. We're all over the place. Make sure to follow us on all those platforms. Also, make sure to go to Spotify and give us a 5-star rating and review. It helps the show get seen by new listeners. Make sure to share us with friends and family because that is the best way to help the show grow organically. And make sure to join our Discord. Make sure to join the Discord. Aaron, how much is that costing nowadays?
It is
free. It's 100% free. Make sure to get in there and mix it up. We're having lots of conversations in there lately. One of our recent guests, Denver, just joined, so you can get in there and mix it up, disagree with our opinions that we say on the show, and give episode topic suggestions, which helps us because, come on, guys, we've got hundreds of episodes
This trailer was actually shared in the Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Boom,
yeah.
Here we are watching it.
And we're referencing it being shared in the Discord, too. We'll talk about you in the episode if you come in there and chat with us.
There we go. Thanks so much for watching, and
that's a wrap.